Hi. Thank you for attending today's reading. Let's begin. I never told my parents that I finished my degree and landed a six-figure career. My father was not the nicest man, always putting me down and pretty much expected me to amount to nothing my whole childhood. I was 25 and discovered an employment recruiter who could get my feet in the door at my local municipal government offices. I never said a word to my parents. That same year, I finished my degree. Fast forward to this last month. I was promoted to the second highest position in the department. Still not a word, and I'm now 29. I just see how they treat my younger sister. She's always been the golden child. She could never do any wrong. She got married young to a wealthy family and she does not have to work but chooses to. My father loves that about her. Lol. But my dad also constantly borrows money from her and never returns it. She complains to me all the time. My sis and her hubby never went on a honeymoon because they gave the savings to my dad for a new roof when he spent the insurance money on my mother's brand new car. For this reason, I have not told my parents what I do for work. Not that they ask either. I don't boast about how much I make or how I am the only one sitting at the dinner table with a degree when I come over. I just feel like I get the last laugh when they express their overly opinionated thoughts about me. They do not even have a clue. They think I edit books or do social media gigs for money. It's hilarious. My friends are my family and they support everything I do. We all push each other to do better and I couldn't ask for anything more. We travel to reward ourselves for our successes. We have been some pretty amazing places. So, my father sees this on my social media and drafts the narrative for the rest of my family. I don't bother to correct him due to his lack of, let's just say, understanding. And I don't want to explain why I refuse to contribute to his frivolous spending habits. Disclaimer. I have nothing wrong with those who make profit from social media in any way, shape or format. This was me sharing the idea that my parents are overly opinionated. Cliff notes. My parents suck. They mooch off the other members of the family. I keep my successes a secret to keep them from asking me for money so I can vacation and live happily ever after. End of story. Next story. I used to report myself via anonymous emails to my college. Because I liked the attention I got from the campus officers who dealt with me. I am a really shy, quiet and an anxious guy. I have avoidant personality disorder. Which means I want above all else to connect with people. But I struggle because of my anxiety. As you can probably guess, someone like this doesn't get much attention from anyone at all. At my college there used to be a lot of members of staff called campus officers. Their job was to basically enforce the rules of the college and discipline people, etc. They would all wear these uniforms with black coats and sunglasses. It was pretty hot. I remember fancying them because they represented authority, which I find really attractive. I wasn't the sort to ever misbehave, so would never interact with these people. I wanted to, but was so shy I didn't want to get actually disciplined to do it. I ended up figuring out a different plan. I began emailing the campus officer's office anonymously. I would report myself and say I was another student, but wanted to stay anonymous. I'd say things like ****** is carrying weed on him, etc. As you can probably guess, this wouldn't be ignored. A campus officer would show up to class and call my name. I would leave and they'd tell me nothing. I would just follow them very submissively. But I knew I wasn't in any real trouble. I was so shy. But I loved every minute of the process. I loved the submission of being collected from class. being marched to their office, being sat down and talked to in a sort of interrogatory way. I loved that I was in their office surrounded by staff in uniforms. I liked that they'd search my bag and really enjoyed when they searched me. As someone who was a virgin and really fancied these people, it was a lot of fun to get searched by them. Ahaha. It was an amazing thrill. I reported myself this way multiple times during my time at the college. They never found any drugs on me, so I was never in any real trouble. After like the third time, my course manager spoke to me and explained that they thought someone might have it in for me. But it was college policy to take reports seriously. At that point I knew I could just keep doing this whenever I wanted. Sure, I got pulled out of class. But it was worth it. It was a lot of fun for me regardless. I pretended I was uncomfortable and would behave very defensive, like I had something to hide. I think how shy and passive I was added to their suspicion, to be honest. Haha. I'll admit this isn't a nasty secret. But it's definitely a secret I wouldn't share with anyone else. It makes me laugh a lot thinking back to it. Figured I'd share the story because nobody else has probably done anything like this before. End of story. Next story. I was peer pressured into staying hydrated when I first went to public school. Everyone was worried about drugs and sex and whatever. But the first thing that I noticed when I entered my classrooms were the bottles of water. The fancy hydro flasks with a bunch of stickers on them, and the smaller bottles, and my personal favorite, the athletic guys waddling around with their gallon of water every day. I felt really awkward being the only person who drank from the fountain or bought a bottle of water. But what really pushed me was an encounter from a girl in my forensic science class. I'm a sophomore, but they didn't know where else to put me since I registered late. Pointed out that I was the only person without a reusable water bottle. I felt everyone staring at me, and one of the kids was even slowly shaking their head. So I finally forced myself to join the school-wide cult. I didn't blow off $40 for a hydro flask. Not yet, at least. But honestly, it's doing me a lot of good. My parents asked me why I did that, but I was too shy to tell them I was peer pressured into staying hydrated. Now that I think of it, it's kinda funny. End of story. Next story. I think it'd be nice to go on a road trip with the money I have saved up and then kill myself at the end. Just going to address this first. I'm not suicidal. I'm not going to kill myself. I just think it'd be nice to have fun for a bit and see some places and then just stop existing. Like not have to deal with anything anymore. With COVID and everything going on, my view of my future is no longer clear, but I can tell it's not going to be great. I'm sure I'm at the place a lot of people are where they want to give up. I definitely do, but I have some savings and could totally do a road trip and then peace out at the end. Edit. Ugh man. Like I said, I'm not suicidal and I haven't made plans for anything. The thought of actually using my hard-earned money to fuck off on a road trip is not what I'm into. I just received a lot of rejection emails yesterday and it's too late to try to take some classes. I've never been unemployed before. Ever since I started working. And I've never had trouble finding work. I work in live events. And have for 10 years now. I had an interview for a promotion lined up right when everything got shut down. I had a clear plan of what I was gonna do. But now I don't really know what to do. I think a lot of my people in my situation feel stuck too. It was just a nice thought not having to deal with it or worry about it anymore. End of story. That is all for today. If you want to support my automated channel, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. See you tomorrow.